Hi, Jess.
Hi, Lauren.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We've been away for 2 weeks, I think.
I think we skipped a week.
So I should probably take that we are a weekly podcast off of our small amount of branding because we're clearly not doing that. But I had a conference that I go speak at.
Yes.
So
Lauren was very, very important at work.
I
And
was
that
very
took
professional.
precedence.
Yes. But now we're back and caught up.
Oh, of course.
I mean, we're rocking. Valley and Summer House is going to be tonight.
Yep.
And then we're going to touch on Vanderpump Villa, a little brief moment.
A Hulu, not on Bravo, but, sister adjacent.
Yeah. And then I want you to give me your thoughts on Hotel of Love.
Love Hotel.
Love
yeah.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Just so brief snippets on those.
Yes. Sounds good.
Anyway, and then we'll go conspiracy theory and what are the kids talking about these days?
Love it.
So let's start with the Valley. So the Valley is always like quite depressing to me.
I know.
And before Jax went into rehab, I was like, I don't know if I can watch this show.
Yeah.
Because
you were like,
Brittany and Jax were
dark.
fighting via the production company.
Yeah.
Like via the camera, which was really hard to watch. But now that he's in it and it's kind of like, it seems a little bit less dark and more just like drama, which I like.
Yeah.
So apparently Jax, there was an ultimatum given to him. Did you hear this? That he was going to be fired unless he went into treatment.
Okay.
So Bravo intervened because I don't think Bravo can have yet another...
I was like, has Bravo ever intervened?
Right.
Like James Kennedy, all these other really bad news guys. And so maybe they're like, finally, we can't.
Yeah. And so just jumping in, like one of the things that I could not understand was, first of all, I think they are purposefully avoiding the word abuser. I think what he's doing is abuse to Brittany. And
100%.
Brittany keeps saying, it's a toxic relationship. It's a toxic relationship. And even on the after show, she was saying, like, I want to help any other woman who's in this how to get out of it. And I'm like, say the word abuse.
Yeah. I wonder if there's some legality thing that they're like, avoid that word.
Especially with James and the whole, like, that
Domestic
situation.
abuse.
Yes. How did Kristen become so team Jesse? I don't really remember how that all worked out, but...
I think it was literally so... Jesse and Michelle both hated Kristen at the end of last season, but then Jesse apologized. So now she's like, okay, I'm team Jesse because she just still hates Michelle.
I wrote a note. Kristen is the best human alive because she'll take anyone that will have her, and she's also the worst human alive because she'll take anyone that will have her.
Yeah. What is it? If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything.
Yes,
That's
right.
her. Like, she will just, she doesn't stand for anything. If you apologize and kiss her ass, she's back good with you.
Yeah. And so the whole thing with Jesse, right, is he's piecing together the evidence that Michelle cheated on him with the honey and the hikes.
I was kind of laughing at those pieces of evidence, but also going, you have a decent case there.
Jessica, we talked about this.
Yeah.
No one goes on a hike by themselves. When she came back, do you remember so long ago?
Yes, the smoothies.
Yes. She said, I just went on a hike. No one does that, whole activity by themselves.
There are, like, mountain lions out there and snakes. You need, like, backup on those hikes.
So here's the problem, right? Is, like, we all were piecing this together last season, and Jesse's now doing it this season. But Jesse's also being such an asshole that, like, we don't want to hear about the piecing together.
Yeah.
We all got that last season.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to where we've all been, Jesse. You're a little behind.
And like the honey.
Yes.
Now I kind of want to try that honey.
I'm curious. She was on Watch What Happens Live, and I mean, she's just...
Michelle?
Yeah, she struggles, in the personality department.
Yeah. Which is why, do you think that's why people, like, aren't immediately taking her side?
People are struggling to support her. Like, as much as you want to be, like, women and, like,
What is it?
I do think it's because there are strong allegations she cheated. So it is a little hard to back her in the divorce.
Right.
Because I do think she, like, stepped out in the marriage. But he is such an asshole. Like, he's also making it really hard for me to support him. But she was on the show, and Andy asked something about, what did you think of, like, Jesse saying all those pieces of evidence against you? And she's like, oh, whatever, made some comment. And then she literally segued in. She goes, oh, but Andy, I have something for you. And she gave him the honey. And Andy's like, I love how you worked that in there. Not really, like, enthused. He's like, thanks. Like when people give him stuff.
Yeah.
Like, overjoyed.
He's like, it's going to go in the clubhouse.
Yes. Kristen gave her green dress.
Yes.
From Vanderpump when she went, the revenge green dress when she went back to see Tom Sandoval. Good Lord, I forgot it was Sandoval. That's the breakup. But he was just like, thanks. Like, he was like, this is such a product placement. I'm so annoyed you did this.
Yeah. I also think you nailed it. Like, both of them think they're so in the right that it's hard to, like, root for either of them. Because it's just, like, you're both annoying in your own way.
Yeah.
Now, did you see at the reunion for the Valley coming up, Michelle's at the end?
Dead last.
So that must be, like, someone doesn't like her,
Someone,
right?
yeah. Did you say to me, it's like production doesn't like you
Right.
if you're all the way down there? Because
Well,
she is a huge player in
right.
this.
And well,
as far as we know.
Let's talk about reunion seating for 1 second. So Erica Jane, have you seen this? She was last in the reunion seating for Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah.
And Andy made a comment coming out to her that said, "Oh, you're not in the hot seat today." And she's like, "Oh, thank God I get to sit back." She kind of was like that. Did you hear the rumor that she's been demoted to friend of? So if there's any correlation.
I know. I think Andy tries so hard to make it seem like it is not favorites of where you're sitting.
Right.
He always says, like, it's the hot seat if you're by me. No, that means the season was mostly about you, and you're pretty much secure for next. I think the only one that comes to mind, can you think, I'll give you, it was Salt Lake City, someone who got first seat and did not come back the following season.
Jen Shaw?
Monica.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, right.
Because all the, like, stuff came out about her.
Okay, but then also reunion seating for Summer House. Did you see this?
Yes.
This had got people up in arms.
That Amanda Petula
was first. And she even wrote underneath it. She said,
I'm not sure why I was there either. I love the self-awareness that she even was like, I was unclear why I got that seat too. Because then is that the other side Paige?
Yes.
Okay, Paige makes sense. All the Craig stuff. Yeah.
But it should have been Lexi. Or Jesse. Sorry.
Jesse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're usually not first if you're a noob.
I don't envy the
seaters.
But if anyone wants to ever run it by me before, I would be honored to give some
if that was your job. I'm the Bravo reunion seater.
Yeah. It's a full-time job.
And people analyze the shit out of it. All right, so back to Michelle and Jesse. So one thing I'll say about Jesse too is, like, if Jesse had money, like a lot, I think a lot of his tendencies would be more received, okay? Because it would be like, okay, you love the finer things in life, but you have money.
Yeah.
But on the after show, they went into this. He has got no money.
Sounds like he spent it all.
Which, I was doing some math, Jessica. Michelle was saying, oh, he sold $60 million houses, $45 million house, a $20 million house. So they had probably upwards of $10 million in the bank for him to spend all that. Jessica, if I had $1 million in the bank, I'd retire. I'd be like, I'm rich.
Yeah, we're good. I will figure out a way to invest this and live off this.
How can you spend $10 fucking million, like away like it's water?
Yeah. Living well beyond your means. I heard her say he spends it on nice wine. I was like, Jesus Christ, how much wine is he buying? That was like enough for her to mention.
Well, they said he spent it on like $5,000 a bottle.
Oh, well, yeah, you can.
But even that, it's $5,000. That's a 20th of $100,000, which is a 10th. You know, like you still have a ways to do $10 million. That
was really good mental math. Very proud of you
I've
for
prepared
that.
I've prepared it.
Off the top of your head, what percent of 100,000?
That might not be right either. But it's just like, how did you get there, dude? And so then second part is Luke and Danny are talking about the boys chat. This boys chat, like, honestly, I would pay money.
Oh, my God.
To read that.
Yes.
And you know who seems to be like the top culprit of reading it is Nia.
Oh, yeah. I bet Danny just is like, this is crazy, and hands it over. She's like, Danny, let me see your phone.
Yes.
What are you laughing about?
Yeah, right. But I don't think she's the mole.
No. I do not think Nia would ever be, like, leaking stuff.
Yeah, and they talked about that on the after show, and, like, apparently, like, people get booted out of the group, like, by Jax. Like, just, like, so crazy.
Ego trip.
Can you imagine, like, Jessica and I have, like, a thread with our husbands on it.
Yeah.
And we just booted Vince off, booted Kunal off.
You need to start acting right and we'll invite you back in.
I think my brother actually did that with our family thread at one point. He was mad at what we were talking about, so he removed himself.
Oh, yeah. That's always dramatic. We've had that in the family chat on Vince's side. A cousin removed themselves and we all went, oh.
Okay.
Didn't like what we were talking
about. But then they
about.
inevitably get added back.
Still not back in.
Oh, shut up. Tom Schwartz said he tries to remove himself every so often and gets added back in. So funny.
Yes.
Okay, so what Danny kind of says to Luke that Jesse's spreading this rumor about the $1,500 a night.
Yeah.
I mean, show some receipts. You can't sit there and say that and then not have even a drop of receipts.
Yeah. And then
Because Honey Guy ain't the billionaire, by the way.
No. No way. Not with like how much they're trying to plug the honey. It needs help. It's trying to get off the ground.
Right.
But was Jesse's defense and we can get into the Dave and Buster's birthday party for Janet, but was his defense that he was just saying something crazy to find the mole?
I mean, it's how he spun it.
So he's probably because he's like, oh my God, she's going to get me for slander.
Oh, maybe.
So that's where he was almost trying to be like, yeah, I didn't really mean it. Like, don't sue me. Cause I mean, they're clearly contentious.
Right. Do you know he's representing himself though?
Yes. I mean, that doesn't shock me at all. He is the personality that's like, I can do better than you, lawyer. Who's been,
right.
You know,
and he also doesn't want to pay for it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I just would hate, because he sounds like he's nitpicking everything, right?
Yeah.
Every single darn thing.
Ugh. He is a narcissist.
He's the worst.
I think.
He's Jax, but smarter, which almost makes him more dangerous because
Jax is a dumbass.
Dumb. All right, so Dave and Buster's. I always think it's so interesting that Jesse, during these group things, walks right up to Michelle.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he, like, starts off in, like, in his own corner and then kind of, he walks right up to her. He's either high-fiving her, he's addressing her.
Yeah.
She said at their, like, office meetings, because they still work in the same spot.
Oh, God.
Like, their team meetings, he'll sit right down next to her. Do you love that or you hate that?
I think he doesn't feel embarrassment, which maybe is another sign of whatever we could diagnose him with. I don't think he has that feeling of like awkwardness that he just is like, what up? And like, you're like, I do not want to speak to you. She's like, are you serious right now? Or it's a massive power play.
Yeah, right.
He's like, your presence doesn't bother me. Why do I bother you so much?
Right. Like, let me just make you uncomfortable and see how you react, because then it's your fault.
Because he's getting under her skin.
Right. Yeah.
So he's psychotic. Yeah. That's, I was going to say, that was another reason, like, we have a little trouble all, like, being Team Michelle.
It's like,
when she's like, no one's giving me any sympathy. It's worse than Jax. And everyone's like, Jack's addicted to cocaine and has been violent.
And emotionally and verbally abuses Brittany.
Yeah. Jesse, it sounds like, didn't like want to have sex with you for a while, and that was really hard.
And you got
for
resentful, which we all would.
Yeah.
And you found other people.
And you spent a lot of money. That is not as bad as what Jax is doing.
The only thing I will say, and this, I always catch myself on trying to be somebody who's not on the female side, because I'm not a self-proclaimed girl's girl, but I try and watch it, is if my husband was spending that type of shit, Jessica, I would have a very hard talk with him.
Right.
So that's the one thing Jesse always says, well, she saw the bank accounts. She knew what was going on. Why didn't you speak to him?
Right. Unless, and she never has said it, it's like, other than if suddenly you admit you were blind, he did your finances, and it all came out, and you're like, oh my God, you have a problem and have put us in debt. It doesn't sound like that.
It sounds like
she was probably enjoying some of the perks of his spending.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's like that. It takes two. If you have a joint bank account, you gotta figure it out.
I mean, I look at that thing every single day.
Yeah.
We've had so many discussions about, like, where was this being spent, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's a normal part of marriage, so...
And we kind of vary, but we do have an amount that we say you have to speak to the other before making a purchase over X.
Jessica, ours is like butter at the grocery store. It's like, okay...
Can I get the Kerrygold? It's 50 cents more a stick.
I'm like, do we need the gas at Costco, or can we wait another week?
Or should we ride a bike?
Yeah, right. No, usually ours is ordering out. Should we get the appetizers, or should we just keep to the main entree?
I know.
Okay, so pre-Santa Barbara trip, and I guess Dave and Buster's, right? What did you think? I thought Janet's trip to Dave and Buster's was funny because I thought Janet is constantly trying to be like, I'm so cute.
Yes. That's what drove me nuts.
Like, look at me at Dave and Buster's. I'm so cute.
I would be so curious if she truly has had a love for them, like, forever. I feel like she's trying to find her little thing that she becomes known for.
Yeah, right.
And that drives me nuts, where she's always, like, didn't Brittany throw her, like, the carnival? That was, like, episode 1, season 1, like, the birthday party for her. And she's like, I'm kind of white trashy. And so maybe the Dave and Buster's tracks. But I'm sorry, if you have children and you have to go to that kind of stuff with your kids, I don't understand the appeal of an adult arcade. I've never been into that.
Okay, so pre-Santa Barbara trip. We're back here. So I think it's really weird. They're planning it, and Michelle tries to walk around and like ask everyone who they would vote out. It was like, oh, Michelle, you think you're a fan favorite, and you are not.
Oh my God, Lauren, I had the exact same.
Crawl under the table.
Yes, all I could think was she didn't get enough votes, and then next episode is just her walking into the house like, well, I didn't win, so I guess we're all at the house. Like,
oh my
she didn't,
God.
Maybe the finance, maybe she really isn't with that billionaire, because she clearly was like, I am going on this trip and I'm not paying for a hotel myself, so I'm still going to be in the house.
So do you think that's called a cast trip, so therefore paid by Bravo?
I think so.
And so if she went to hotel, she would have had to pay for that? Yeah.
I think so. And I mean, I agree. If I'm part of a cast, I'm not, removing myself from filming. Like, if you don't go, that's honestly, I think why Zach and Kristen were so pissed off about that Big Bear trip. They missed out on all that screen time.
Right. Totally.
And we're getting ousted from a group trip.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder if Jason and Janet really did pay for that they had the ability to say they can't come.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, I agree. And then let's talk about Zach for a second. So Zach is trying to make his Janet storyline come alive.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's totally leaned into like his pettiness.
Yep.
And I think he's very messy. Like, he can't control a damn emotion.
No.
Also, the fact that he's almost 40.
Is he really?
Shocking. Yes.
Oh my God. I actually never looked up how old he was.
I think he's 39.
Wow.
Yes, and he's trying to bring it. He's got the new hair. He's got the spray tan.
And this Canadian man.
Yep, which
he's kind of mentioning his relationship.
He brings the little stick along, right? Yep. He's trying to do it. He's trying to do reality, but for some reason, people just do not want to put him in the middle of it. Like there's just something about it.
He also got the other final last seat. Michelle and him were end of the couches.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Zach. I think his big thing that he should have probably pushed on way harder was that Brittany told Janet.
Yeah.
Remember, that was his big horrible realization. Brittany told Janet that he said all these things when he was blackout.
Yeah.
Which was on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine being blackout on fucking national TV?
No.
I mean, you got to be a weird level of crazy, cuckoo,
horrible.
And I thought it was so funny. I couldn't tell if it was cute or funny when he sits down and he's talking to Janet
and he said he wants Nia's hand. Yeah,
I would want Nia's hand too.
I literally thought though she is the most motherly and comforting.
Yes.
But speaking of people needing hands, how dramatic was Kristen when Janet called her to invite her to her birthday party, and she's like, Luke. I was like, you're on speakerphone with her. You don't need to be holding Luke's hand. That was she was doing too much.
I know. But Kristen is so lovable this season.
She is.
How did we get here, right? That she's...
What a metamorphosis.
I know. It's so funny. All right, so Jack's during this whole time. First of all, he's in rehab. Second of all, he's rage texting Brittany. Brittany seems actually legitimately a little scared of him, which is... Ooh, you can feel that. Also, the episode before when she's yelling at him with the cameras there.
Yeah.
I saw this online, but I totally agree. It seemed like she knew that he couldn't do anything being filmed.
Yes.
So she used that moment to say it.
Oh,
which gives me
100%.
Chills,
that
Jessica.
That seemed bottled up. And she goes, he's not going to fucking attack me when there are cameras crew here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. And she's, at one point she says, you're going to lose your job. I mean, she's talking about Bravo.
Yeah. Fourth wall stuff.
Oh my God. And then she drops the cocaine thing.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Because they were talking about this on the after show. Jax comes out after, he comes out on the Alec, whatever that EVP's name is, the executive producer, Alec Baskin, comes out on Alex Baskin's podcast. Did you see this? And he says,
No.
Oh, it happened maybe I would say a month ago that he reveals he has a cocaine problem and he reviews he's bipolar.
Okay.
And it's filmed, so you can see his body language, right? But he's telling basically his boss, that's what they call this Alec Baskin guy, his boss, that he's a cocaine problem. So on the after show, they were dissecting it, and Jason was saying, did he do that because he knew this was going to come out and he wanted to get ahead of it and just like admit it?
Right.
Or did he do it because Bravo was like, here's all the things you have to do, otherwise we're not going to film with you anymore.
Admit you have a problem. Go start to get help.
Right.
Yeah.
But you didn't see it, so maybe you don't. You don't.
Well, we talked about how we thought the timing, you were saying you had a little more empathy for him.
Yes.
And I thought, nah, he's just trying to say, I'm bipolar and I have all these problems because he knew how atrocious he's going to look this season.
I thought that, Jess, but now I think Bravo's trying to kind of cover themselves a bit because think of how many randomly bad men they have that they're filming.
I know.
That they've allowed to make TV careers. Not to mention that we have Jesse Lally and Jesse Tosuck from Southern Charm. Two Jessies.
Watch out for the Jessies.
Oh my
Jesse
God.
Tosuck, let's just call him that.
Yeah, Team Tosuck and Jesse Lally. I'm like,
you know another thing Jesse Solomon's trying to make happen? The What Would Jesse Solomon Do? His stupid song.
his singing career.
Did you see he has merch?
Oh my God.
It says WW, like the What Would Jesus Do?
He's trying to be Michael Bublé. Did you see that?
Yes, he said he wants to be the next
I
Michael.
literally, like, in the world of mental energy, I cannot devote more to the Muppet-looking person that is Jesse Solomon and his nonsense, his non-evolved way of treating women is just so obvious to me. And like, I don't even want to talk about him at the reunion. I just want to be like, you fucked up. Next, let's move on to the next topic.
Well, he's gonna be back for next season.
I've heard rumors that he and Wes are going to be like the people that take this house on.
Yeah.
Because you can't have Lindsay and Kyle and
that
Amanda
they
are kind of
build
dead.
it around them.
I'm sorry, but Paige is
Bravo
gonna be
might
on
be
to better
reconsidering with how non-existent West was this season. Okay, we're jumping into Summer House, but you know what I mean? I don't know if they want to build it around them.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Valley.
Yes.
Let's see here. A couple of quick things from the episode. So they do that spiritual healing exercise. Jason is kind of constantly
Is he a therapist?
He's a lawyer, Jessica.
Why did I
So
think?
same thing.
But doesn't he like, right? He kind of really, every time he like, he brought Jax to the treatment center and then like he's the one to go talk to Jesse when Jesse storms off.
So I agree. So back 2 episodes ago, Zach was going on one of his rants about like, how does Brittany stay so close to Janet? And I'm like, because she needs Jason. Like Jason is the one coming over to her house when she's scared of Jax.
Yeah.
And when she needs
to talk sense and calm him down.
And
he's
to
like
take
such
him
a
to
calming
rehab.
presence.
You know, he's a very critical part of Brittany's life because I think he's the like muscle that she needs to make sure that like she feels safe. Yeah. Which unfortunately means she's close to Janet, you know? Yeah. Okay, a couple more things on the after show. First of all, Sheena, did you watch that? Have you watched that for
No, not the after shows.
So the Valley's after show is like where all of the tea gets dropped.
And Sheena's already in the after shows for the Valley.
Sheena's there, Lala's there, and Brock. And Tom Schwartz.
Wow.
So Lala sits with Brittany. Lala looks like the Grim fucking Reaper, by the way. She's this like black dress on and her face looks very pale. Really? She doesn't speak. I mean, she's nothing to contribute. Right. It's so weird to have her.
I know they come later in the season, but it's so weird they're already on these early after shows.
And then Schwartz is sitting there with Jax and Jesse. And both of those two men are so despicable that Schwartz like clearly disassociates like a lot.
He's almost like, I don't want to be
He like looks off in the distance, Jessica, with like glassy eyes when they're talking. Like, and then Brock is sitting with Jason, of all people.
Random. Okay. Who's Sheena with?
She's with Michelle and Janet.
Okay. Random.
So Jasmine seems to be calling Michelle her girlfriend, or Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
Her fiance.
Oh,
so they probably get engaged. They get engaged. And then Tom Schwartz kind of reveals a little bit of like Jax and how much he did cocaine.
Oh.
So. Okay. And they called it blow,
blow,
which I'm like, what do we call it nowadays? But it sounds like Jax did it like people casually drink. You know how you'd have like, oh, I'm going to have a glass of wine tonight? Yeah. Jax like required to do it when going out.
I saw a quote that Jax said, if I had a sip of a beer, I had to do cocaine.
Yeah, right.
And then I just thought of all the times we saw him drinking. So just to assume cocaine was involved in all of those.
Right. The last thing I'll say is I love that Nia and Kristen both did the after show. They're both extremely pregnant. Yeah. And Kristen had on these like nice, beautiful
high heels. And she had to take them off. I saw a clip where
they're like
off
over
to
in
side.
the corner. She's like barefoot and pregnant on the set.
Preach.
I just like love Kristen.
At my baby shower, I couldn't wear my shoes. I was busting out of them and I switched to flats. I was like, oh, been there. Swollen ass feet.
Anyway, I mean, Valley's getting good. I think, too, it's just like a lot. Like, the cast is so big that it keeps you on your toes. Like, we're dealing with Zach Strumman, then we're dealing with Rochelle and Jesse, then we're dealing with, like, Brittany and Jax. Like, there's not just one storyline that, like...
And I think we've said it a million times, why I just think the Valley works. This group truly was friends before a show happened.
Right.
We have got the history. That is why Vanderpump Rules was amazing.
Right.
Lightning in a bottle, because that is what you need.
Okay, Summer House.
Summer House.
So...
We're still at Snooze Fest party.
Yes, still at Snooze Fest. That is one of their best parties.
Yes, I was going to say, love that theme.
Did you catch, though, that it seemed like Paige had to pay for that? Like, she says, this was expensive. So.
I heard that. I wonder, again, if they're given a stipend and they wanted to go above and beyond, and if you do more. Yeah.
Also, Tom Schwartz, also there.
Tom Schwartz.
Well, that was loud because the window's open.
Yeah, that's fine. Tom Schwartz needs a paycheck, clearly. I wrote what is the word I'm looking for? But what, like, a sad thing that Tom Schwartz's life has come to. His little label is Kyle's friend.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, put some respect on that man's name. He was on Vanderpump Rules for like 10 or 11 seasons.
Right. Oh,
Kyle's friend.
That is hilarious.
Yes, I saw it and I was like, poor Schwartz.
Okay, so the one thing I want to talk to you about Summer House right off the bat is the conspiracy that I have, which others are saying is true, about Jesse and his role this season. So apparently Lexi went on Nick Vitale's podcast.
Viles. Yeah.
We're back there. And talks about how Jesse concocted this whole thing.
I've seen parts of
What
this.
are your thoughts on that?
It's so interesting because, yes, Lexi has definitely been on like a PR campaign. Right. So I think she's also getting a lot out of this summer romance that fizzled and whatever. But she is also claiming, I don't listen to that podcast, but she was on Watch What Happens Live for a second time, might I add, this season.
Second time. I saw the first.
She was on just this week's, too. I was like, oh, damn, Lexi's back. And guess who the bartenders were? Her sister and mom.
Oh, my God.
I literally was like, stop trying to make them happen. I can't with them.
Jessica, I saw someone say they get more screen time than Gabby.
Yes, I think they do. But she said on Watch What Happens Live, one of the like shady was like answer, shady questions. And they said, what's the shadiest thing that Jesse has ever said about West? And Jesse said, well, he sure got pretty famous off that Sierra relationship.
Oh my God.
Like he's riding that wave. And so everyone's like, Jesse, that's what you're doing now.
Right.
Riding that wave.
Well, also, I heard her say, and I can't remember where this was. I believe it was a podcast, but that Jesse was like very much colluding with her on like, if you talk, you get screen time. So I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
And like something as simple as that. That's strategy, right? Like,
yes. I think you said it previously that Lexi said he knew that if he was talking about me or my relationship, he would get filmed more. Yeah.
Right. But it's Jessica, you could have bet me $1,000 and I would have taken on this bet that Jesse was the one that broke up with her.
Oh yeah.
And she's the one that breaks up with him.
Yeah. It definitely flipped.
I thought for sure he was going to be the one that called
just
it.
used and abused her kind of like for the summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which this whole conspiracy would have made more sense if that was true, right? If he was like, I just can't do this anymore. We're going to end it.
I know.
But the fact that she's very like committed in her ways and like is like.
But to double down on the conspiracy, is he really trying to replicate the West stuff?
Oh.
And he's like, I'm not breaking up with her. I'm going to be the sad boy that was dumped.
Yeah.
And she did me wrong and all this.
Well, the thing that's very clear to me, so the first episode is like, it's the starting of the Sierra Jesse unraveling, right?
Yeah.
And then we move into it and it gets worse. With Lexi, when it unravels, he does things like says, I love you, invites her to meet his parents, even though he didn't want to.
Yep.
This year, he doesn't have that leverage, right? He can't like fix it by showing further commitment in their relationship. Yeah. So it's so telling to me that it like is continuing to unravel, and he literally is like such a dumb boy. He like sits there and goes, I don't know how to fix this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to like get her right. It's like, because she's smart and beautiful, and like you clearly don't have any like, you've never made it past this point with anybody.
Yeah.
It's like Chandler on Friends. Remember when he says to Monica, like, on Friends, well, I've never made it through a relationship past our first fight. And she's like, oh, you haven't? We're not breaking up. Like, this is just our fight.
Yeah, this is just the first of many. Get used to it.
Also, side note, apparently, Amanda, her confessional look with the glasses and the white shirt. I mean, that shirt is giving, like, Old Navy vibes, if you ask me. It's, like, selling out, Jessica.
Where's it from?
I don't know.
Old Navy?
Yeah. Like, do you remember back in the day, like, those, like, little, like, shirts from Gap and Old Navy?
Yes. I remember the flip-flops. I wanted those $5 flip-flops.
I'm like,
or were they $1 back then? Maybe they're $5 now.
I'm like, how is this shirt selling out? This is Old Navy vibes.
So dumb.
Like, Gen Z, I know where you can get that.
Yeah. It's fast. One funny thing, you know how West slept on the trampoline bed?
Yeah.
I looked at the timestamps. It took him an hour and 10 minutes to realize that it started raining. Like, it looked like it was downpouring.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was under some covers and was drunk, but it was like, oh my God, you were in the rain for that long.
The other thing, too, with Jesse, not to go back there, but to go back there, is during that bed party when Lexi confronts him, he kept saying something that irked me to high heaven, which was, my friends, I'm mad at my friends. Well, my friends are, saying this stuff. Well, I don't think my friends. I'm like, Lexi is not a friend to them. And the fact that you're trying to sit there and, like, show this, like, divide, well, these are my friends.
But he was also doing the classic, I'm mad that they did this, but you still said it. He's like passing the blame and just being like, oh, well, they shouldn't have told you. So you're just mad you got caught, not at what you did or said.
Right. And I feel like the girls, while they're mad at him, they're not like over the top. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like they should have been mad like 2 episodes ago at him.
Yeah.
And they're just now starting to, like, and it's mostly because Sarah's mad at him, right? That they're kind of like,
oh, yeah. That whole convo they were having at the party, do you notice how Jesse's one eyebrow goes up?
Oh,
like
really?
The Rock, and he like constantly is doing this like perplexed look at Lexi, and I wanted to like slap that look off his face too. He was driving me nuts in that convo.
Which, speaking of that party, so that party seemed like one of their better ones.
Yeah.
I heard how they invite people to those parties.
Okay.
I think Wes and Jesse were talking about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, a link gets sent around.
Oh, yes. I heard West talking about that.
And you send the link to people, and they can send it, not to everyone. They can send it to, like, 1 or 2 people.
Okay.
And then you sign up and say,
and
like...
that's probably how you do your NDA.
Yeah, and you sign up and you get on the guest list.
Yeah.
And then... So it's either friends or friends of friends. But it's not, like, promoting
a casting
event.
call.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it does seem like those kids are not allowed in the house, the guests.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
They're totally, it's like unless a cast member says you can come in with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's very much only cast members are ever in the kitchen like doing a shot or whatever.
Also, it comes out that Jesse and Lexi are exclusive, but not boyfriend and girlfriend. That is a Gen Z thing.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. Vince and I were that.
Really?
But for like a week.
Jessica, oh my gosh, you're like ahead of it. I was like,
Back in 2019, I did it. I don't know why. And if you asked me to define, I couldn't really tell you what the difference is. But when he wanted to be in a relationship, I don't know why I felt like I wasn't ready to like put that label. And I said, well, I'm definitely not dating anyone else. So we said exclusive, and then it was like a week later, and I was like, yeah, let's be boyfriend, girlfriend.
Oh my
like I was
God,
like, why am I
Jessica.
saying exclusive and not?
I had a big moment in this that's like Gen Z does relationships way better than millennials ever did it. Like,
You think?
yeah.
From watching their relationship, you think they're doing it better
I think
than?
they're much more like mature though when it comes to like Lexi isn't sitting there like heartbroken about
That's
him.
true.
She's like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So therefore I don't want to be exclusive. I was like hoping that he just texted back, like they're holding each other far more accountable than like millennials like ever did.
That might be her though. I do think she is very mature for her age.
Interesting.
But she will still stalk the shit out of your Instagram follows.
I still think that was her sister.
her social media intern.
Yeah, right. So let's talk about Carl and Sierra. Oh, that was cringy.
Oh, so cringy.
Again, and that's why, like, people are maybe giving Sierra a little bit of a bad rap, but I've completely changed with her. Like, she holds this cast together because she's always single, she's always beautiful, and she's always, like, there for someone to try and date. Jessica, think of how many men have tried to date her on the show.
I know. Yeah.
Wes, Jesse, and Carl, just in one season.
And
Luke.
The old, well, that was how she came into the show, right? It was Luke.
Austin.
Oh, do you think that was legit, or did Carl need a little bit of a storyline?
I think that was a Hail Mary on Carl's part. Carl's storyline is the soft bar, you know? Which, can we talk about the fact, so Bravo's clearly invested in that soft bar, and they have not invested in Amanda's swimsuit line.
I think it's a choice.
But we don't see anything about Amanda's swimsuit line.
Right, but I'm saying Amanda chose, I don't want whatever the stipulations are for you to invest, whereas Carl's like, God damn, I need the money. So yeah, Bravo, let's I've seen how it worked for Loverboy. You can promote it for me.
Speaking of people who need storylines, though, Kyle and his infertility, that's a storyline.
Yes. You cannot tell me that their dinner of Amanda saying, I'm not sure about kids, is the first time Kyle heard that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. And people are applauding her saying that, which I get. I think that's everyone's right. And, like, I don't think everyone's ready to have a kid. But this is not a storyline. Like, and also, I guess what I'm trying to say is Kyle and Amanda's storyline is always Kyle and Amanda. You know?
Right. It's their relationship.
It's like, this is not, like, this is some, I feel like they had that conversation, and then Kyle, to, like, thread the needle, was like, let me go get my sperm tested, and then, you know, we can talk about this. It's like, built into their relationship constantly.
Yeah. But very interesting. What other relationship has had the guy go do sperm stuff and the woman not do
Craig.
Yeah.
It's always these Peter Pan Bravo boys that are pushing the girl.
But it's making me wonder if that's not a good sign for Kyle and Amanda. That could eventually be.
I feel like they've survived so much, though, Jessica. It's like, if you're going to break up, like, you made it this far, only to make it this far. But all of the cheating.
Have you been listening? Have you been up with Giggly Squad?
No.
I've been here and there. I've not been perfect. But in the most recent, like, Paige is freezing her eggs right now. And I'm like, how much is that a dagger to Craig? Like, she wasn't willing to do it when you guys were dating and talking about a future. Like, I bet if she had said, okay, I'll go freeze my eggs, you go freeze your sperm, even though I've never freaking heard of that.
Right.
But, like, that would have been a huge gesture, I think, to him. And now she's doing it after they broke up.
I mean, good for her, though. I think, though, I think at this point, she's made it so clear. It's not like I'm saying something, like, intuitive, right? That she just is going to ride this career wave until the career fizzles out.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard she was saying on this, I think she said it in an Allure interview, that she basically like, people have given her a lot of crap because she just goes and lies in bed, and she's like, I know I'm lying in bed a lot this season because I'm so freaking tired from the week of the stuff I have going on.
Right.
She's like, I know I'm not good TV. Like, I'm not, like, sitting here, like, doing the most.
I heard her say, like, she doesn't know what her future holds, and she even was like, I feel old on Summer House.
Right. Well, we know what the future. She's gonna get a spinoff. She's a fan favorite. She's gonna get a Luann, Sonia spinoff in my mind.
Hannah.
Right.
It's just going to be a Giggly Squad related thing.
Right. Or it would be like Bravo wants to film her in the city. I would watch her all day long.
Same.
But not in the Summer House anymore.
I agree. And the fact Lindsay Hubbard thinks she might have a shot next summer with a child, and Paige is 5 years younger than Lindsay and single, and she is already saying, I don't think I fit the mold anymore.
All I'm going to say is the very obvious thing, which is, like, Bravo needs a shake-up on Real Housewives of New York. Paige and Lindsay both need homes.
Late breaking news. When we had our little tech thing, oh crap, it was on Instagram and now it's, like, gone. Someone told Page 6, so I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but you saw that Bravo just announced all the, like, new shows and upcoming, like, programming. They said they're shelving Roni.
Shut up.
And they need to reconfigure, and there is no date or anything for filming or casting in the works at the moment.
Good. Have you heard Bryn's podcast?
No.
It is.
I refuse.
Lexi's podcast is Brain Rot. Bryn's podcast is someone who thinks she has made it and has not. It is she had
Just
Jesse
arrogant.
on.
Yes, I saw clips. I was like, oh,
I'm
this like flirty tension is giving me. You two are perfect for each other, actually.
I thought in my head, I'm like, in what world has our favorite Bravo divulged to these two talking?
Yeah.
They're just nonsense, the both of
I
them.
know.
So like a couple of things. One is she was on the podcast and she was saying to Jason Tartnick or whatever, that Bachelor guy.
Dated Caitlin Bristow.
Yes, XX.
Yes.
She was saying to him, well, Roni's salary was my DoorDash money. So the sleuths on Reddit picked up the fact that she basically stole that from Real Housewives. Who's the woman on Real Housewives? The fun one, the kooky one.
Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly.
She goes, you think I'm, dining out on or whatever.
My candy
budget
is Chucky money.
Yes.
Simpsons
the Chucky money.
funds the rest of my life. So the super sleuths on Reddit think that Brynn heard that and went, I'm going to steal that and make that my own.
Just like she stole that monologue in that text, like, I'm carbon monoxide.
Oh my God. How fucking cringy.
She needs to, she needs to give credit where credit is due. She keeps stealing these lines, trying to like, and whatever, Brynn, I think that actually was just like a self-diss. You probably weren't paid that much.
I know, right? And everyone's like, let's just do the math for 1 second. Like,
how much DoorDash
she was claiming she was spending $3,000 a week on DoorDash.
I mean, I know New York's expensive. But
no, Jessica, no, you can't. Reddit debunked that. You can't do that unless you're spending like $5,000 on a bottle of wine.
Also, riddle me how these women allegedly dine out and eat all that crap, and she's so fucking skinny.
I've read this on Brynn. I've read her diet. Basically, Brynn, intermittent fasting.
Okay.
Until dinner. Jessica,
again, then how are we getting so many meals on DoorDash? We're talking one meal a
Good
day.
Good point. I call that just starving yourself. I mean, there's that point where that's not fasting. You're just not eating. Okay, so a couple more things.
We got a little sidetrack there.
Lexi and Jesse filmed in NYC. They repair their relationship.
Yeah, of course they did. They had a few more episodes to film.
The one thing I want to say about Lexi, she's always dressed to go to a club.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what is really the downfall of her image is, like, Paige is very versatile. Paige has, like, country club chic.
Yes.
Sexy bed outfit. Lexi's
that denim mini she had on, there's no way she could bend over.
No. But Lexi's dressed like Thotty constantly.
Yes.
She was wearing a navy blue velvet silk corset to talk to Jesse. I'm like, okay. She also put on a full face of makeup when she was going to go down to the kitchen and yell at him. I'm like, I kind of applaud her on that. I'm like, yes, girl, you know exactly what you're doing.
You know those lips are never not lined.
Yes. She's coming down to yell. She knows the camera's going to be in her fucking face, and she's coming down with a full face of makeup.
Do you think she got that permanently tattooed? You know how you can get makeup tattooed? Like, people were tattooing eyeliner. I think she has lip liner, like, permanently.
You should talk to Kate about this, because Kate was, like, obsessed with this
Oh,
point.
I heard her say, like, she went way back in her Insta and could not find a photo of her without the lips.
I think she might do one of those permanent, like, those people that are peeling off the stuff on their lips on Instagram. It's like you haven't seen this? You put like the purple liquid on your lip and it basically dyes your lips.
Who? Oh my God. I can't even remember if it was Housewives or Summer House. Someone was getting ready and had that purple all over, and I was so confused.
Yeah.
And then it was like I saw them at the night out, and I was like, wait, it's like a nice pink color now.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing this crazy color lipstick.
Yeah. No,
I didn't know that was like a thing.
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's everywhere on Instagram.
No.
Now that we've talked
now
about
I'm
it,
going
come
to.
But you peel off the purple, and then the purple leaves a stain behind, basically. And the stain lasts for a really long time.
Okay, that's what she's done, yeah.
Well, maybe she does something like that. Let's jump to the restaurants at the end of the restaurant combos. That was nuts. Who came up with that? Paige, Lindsay, Kyle, and Jesse. And then the rest of the group went in the other thing.
Another fun fact, Imrul was...
Oh, he's gone.
He was there. Someone filmed. There were 6 of them at that dinner when Wes talked about his friend dying. He was just at the end.
Shut up.
Someone has a photo sitting in the restaurant because they're like out on the thing. There were 6 of them. He got so edited out.
Oh my God.
And did you catch when they were in the living room? I mean, the way they edit these people out, I don't understand. It's amazing. In the living room, they went, someone's missing. And they went, oh, Gabby's coming tomorrow. And in my head, I went, Imrul's not there either.
Oh my God.
He was.
I didn't even notice.
He was. But I mean, I never saw him. Like, they did something like but they were all hanging out in the living room. How did he get edited out?
But you can tell when they switch from the security camera footage to when they do like camera
like
footage.
A cameraman
and that's
is there.
That's we felt like we were in camera footage for a variety of that episode. They clearly didn't want to pay him, basically.
Yeah,
right?
They were like, he didn't bring much, and they weren't going to pay for him to be in that
So
one.
I feel apparently at the reunion he like does not go out with the boys and Andy after.
Heard that too.
And people were like, "Why didn't you go?" And he was like, "I don't know." But he's mad he didn't get a good edit. There is a point, which I don't remember, that he talks about the school he's opened.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on the show, but on social media, I've heard about it.
Because it's English speaking for...
In India.
Yeah.
Is he Pakistani?
Pakistan,
yeah, in Pakistan. So he's like, all I wanted to do was bring awareness.
But like, what a good dude. And
I
the
know.
fact that his edit is like they just slept with everyone.
I know. Well, he maybe shouldn't have slept
And
with so many
meanwhile,
people.
we get, assholes film.
Yeah.
Like, Bravo, you need to go take a good look at yourself in the mirror.
Who is going to be the new guy next season? It is just a revolving door. Like, they cannot keep the next kind of guys. They did okay with West and Jesse, but
Right.
it'll be interesting.
Okay, I want to hear your thoughts on this Love Hotel going on.
Oh, yeah.
So can you describe what it is first?
Love Hotel is 4 single housewives. So you've got Luann, Shannon, Giselle, and Ashley. And they are in what appears to be a completely empty resort in Mexico. I'm not sure how, but there's literally no one ever around in the pool or anything. I feel like they rented out the whole place, and it's huge. And then there's 8 men that are eligible bachelors, and they kind of get to do, it's a little bit like Golden Bachelor, where it's like, oh, pick a one-on-one date, but it's just that you're following 4 of them, and they can all be dating anyone. The big spin, I was kind of going, how the hell is this going to be a whole season? They just now, after 2 episodes, they had to each give a room key to who they wanted to keep. So 4 got eliminated. And then new guys are coming in. Because I was like, how do we keep just
like
seeing the same 8 guys? Like, if you're not into them, you're not going to suddenly be into them. So there's a few connections being made. I think I'm going to need more time. Maybe next episode. I'm trying to think of who my dream cast is for season 2. Like, what single housewives would you like to see? And I don't love...
Gay.
Heather Gay, yep. I've heard her come up. I don't love that Giselle and Ashley are both on Potomac together. Yeah. People were saying Portia from Atlanta.
Is it good drama, though? I mean,
Sutton would be just kind of funny because she's so awkward.
But
there hasn't been a ton of drama yet.
Giselle does not seem like...
She doesn't lean into it.
No. With Giselle, with dating is always very surface level. Like, there's nobody that she wants because I think she still has feelings for her ex-husband.
Jamal Bryant.
And then Luann is Miss, like, over the top. Like, sleeps with everyone.
Yeah. From what I can tell, I don't think a single one comes out with a serious relationship. Last I heard, Ashley Darby is back with that white guy she was seeing
of all people
on her season. Yeah, I don't think she's with anyone from Love Hotel. So I don't think it's going to be a success story, but it's lighthearted and makes me want to go on a beach vacation.
Which, by the way, speaking of Love Island, because it feels like this is Love Island for housewives, don't you think Lexi would have been better on Love Island?
Yes.
That is what people are saying, that she had the option between both, and she chose Summer House because...
Does Bravo produce both?
No. Oh. But, like, if you're her PR agent, you're trying to push her on both ways, but maybe Bravo seemed like a better platform than Love Island.
Okay.
Because this was her, like, moment to get on a show, right?
Right.
And apparently Love Island US last summer. I didn't partake in that, but it was, like, it popped off.
Yeah.
It, like, really created a lot.
No, it is so in my like alley, but I have never watched Love Island.
Yeah.
I know the concept. I know people get really, Ariana now hosting it, like people get really famous from it, but it's just not my wheelhouse because I have too many Bravo shows to watch.
Yeah, right.
I cannot keep up with all of that.
Love Island started amazing, and then it turned into we're going to go on there and get clout and all that.
And now it's turned into all influencers go on there to,
Right.
People already have 100,000 followers.
Right. And
then
they're going on there
after.
to get exposure, and then they
I
have
hate
these
that.
fake, like, love relationships. Yeah.
Doesn't anyone just really want love anymore?
Vanderpump Villa, speaking of people who are literally nobodies coming on these shows, Vanderpump Villa is good, I would say.
I think so. I love the change up. I like that it's in Italy now. New, like, castle.
The one thing I'll say is Lisa knows how to do a reality TV show, because what is happening is she does not bring back the entirety of the last cast. And then also she's got so many kids on there that they have to find something, right? There's got to be a storyline. There's, 10, 12 young kids?
I think I heard Stassi at one point say 16 because she's like, I have to cook for 16 people.
And Stassi's on there, so Lisa made sure there was a fan favorite on there that people
They knew that would get press, like Stassi returns to TV.
Exactly. So Stassi seems to be like the house marm, so to speak, like or the house like head bitch in charge. Like she's coming on there to like hold down the court of like the young
She gets to be there
people.
the whole time, and she's obviously not an employee.
Right, and she's there to like kind of like understand what the drama is and like stir it up a little bit. Yeah. So day 2, or episode 2, which seems to be day 1, there's already people having sex.
Yes. I heard they kind of knew each other before they came in.
But still, I mean, like day 1,
they're young.
There was a fight at 4 a.m. This is, I think, episode 1 or 2. Yeah. And someone gets fired.
Yes.
So,
oh my God, that girl in the kitchen was a dumb ass.
I think they hired her as like
They knew. She was. She didn't know what she was doing.
Also, what they're doing is bringing in other TV shows and reality stars to be the guests.
The guests. So Mom Talk.
Mom Talk. And did you hear that Mauricio hooks up with one of the Mom Talkers? Marcelo, yeah, thank you. So one of the main servers who's brought back, he's basically the Jax of the Jax and Stassi.
Literally Jax 2.0.
Yes, thank you, Jax 2.0 of the Vanderpump Villa. Hooks up with one of the Mom Talk stars that supposedly has a husband.
Yeah.
Demi.
Yeah. I wonder if any of that's going to be on the Mom Talk season. I've just seen a lot of chatter of tweets and stuff between the Mom Talks, and there's very conflicting stories.
What's his name? Marcelo?
Yeah.
Marciano.
Oh, Marciano.
He posted a reel that it was him sitting there saying, basically revealing that the Mormons don't want to. He got uninvited to a Mormon party because one of the Mormons. They don't want me
to speak the truth.
Yeah, to their husband.
And then, I mean, she tweets back, like, you are such a, like, trying to get your 15 minutes. Shut up. Nothing happened. I don't know. But did you see the episode of them visiting, like, the Mom Talk? Yeah. Nothing does happen. I agree. She goes off to talk to him, and it's like, if you have a husband, I don't know if you should be like one-on-one, like off to the side having that convo, but they hug. They literally, nothing happens.
Also, other little tidbits if you're deciding if you want to watch it, there's literally a man who interviews with a British accent and then now has an American one. What the fuck? And he gets drunk and the British accent seems to come back out. So I think he's really British.
I think so.
So I had this
Ciati.
I had this girl in college that would do that. She would switch between British and American.
But was it like to be funny? Where she really like had two personalities?
It would be like somebody was speaking to her in a British accent and she would speak back to them in a British accent. Isn't that so weird? I think the kids nowadays would call that code switching. Yes. I called that psycho.
Yeah, I think it's like dual personality.
All right. The other last thing I'll say is Lisa's still up to her old antics where like she acts like she's mad at people, but then still like keeps them around.
Yeah. But she's not afraid to fire. There's like 4 people fired this season.
Really?
Yeah. So the fact she actually fires people, I'm like, thank God. Like we can't keep having
like
this.
the James Kennedy.
Yes.
Where she brings him back. Which
Sheena
apparently has a book coming out, by the way.
Yes.
And
we're going to have to read that.
I just want someone to synthesize it and tell me what
I'll get it from the library.
Oh,
Don't you worry. I'll read it.
Anyway, reality TV, so good. Let's move to what are the kids talking about these days?
Yes. Okay, so just a quick funny one, and we can share ours to see if we fall in this category. But Gen Z says that they can just tell how old you are by looking at your email address. And it's so true. It was like someone was saying, they're an older millennial and they were giving their personal email to a colleague who's 24 or whatever. And it was their first name, last name @Gmail. And they're like, how did you get that? And they're like, oh, I was around when Gmail was invented.
Yeah, right.
So mine is, Jessica. My maiden name 7 at Gmail. I was a pretty early adopter. I didn't have to have tons of numbers, and 7 is a popular number.
Oh, nice.
What's yours is like initials,
Mine's
right?
Lauren J, my maiden name, 89, which tells a lot about my life.
Well, literally, it's your year of birth.
It's my full name and year of birth. Like, if you were going to scam
Vince
me,
also has 89 in his, and it's like, oh, well, let's just tell everyone what year we were born.
you know my first name, my middle name, and my year of birth. And if you email me, you get my cell phone in the signature. So, yeah, it's quite a breach.
Do you want to add your social to your email signature?
Just throw that out there.
But it just cracked me up with like usernames and stuff, and it's so true. Getting married, I did not want to switch my Venmo name. I got Jessica Bryson. I'm pretty proud of that. Like first name, last name on Venmo. I was clearly on there quickly. So I'm not changing. I'm never going to get Jessica Rangel on there.
Yeah.
So just a quick funny one. If you're ever giving a younger colleague, they might comment on your
I actually have one that we've talked about, but it's hugely important. It's a PSA to anyone using ChatGPT. That ChatGPT puts in, this is what the kids are talking about these days, puts in a long dash when you're using ChatGPT.
Yes.
So if you use ChatGPT for let's say, write an email.
Cover letter.
There's a long dash that it puts in. I don't know what the technical
I know, there's
term.
a name and I can't remember
like an
what it's
M dash
called.
or something like that. And it puts it in randomly, not like in the first sentence. It'll put it in whenever it feels the need. And it's a telltale sign that you're using ChatGPT.
Yes.
So if you look at Lisa Vanderpump, recently she posted about bullying, which I didn't understand what she was talking about.
Yeah.
In her post, Jessica, there's the long dash.
Did it have it? Oh my God.
Because nobody uses that fucking dash.
No, we don't even know what it's called.
No. So just PSA to all my millennials out there. If you're using ChatGPT, make sure you remove the dash. It's very obvious to the younger generation that you're using it.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Okay, conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Number 1. First one, Bush official Catherine Austin Fitts. She served as Assistant Secretary in Housing and Development during the Bush administration, Bush 1, not 2.
Okay.
Claims that the U.S. spent $21 trillion building a secret underground city for the rich and powerful in case a near extinction event happens. Oh. And she said this on a Tucker Carlson podcast.
Oh my gosh.
And she claims there's 170 underground bases across the U.S. connected by transportation. It's not like a tunnel of things. It's not like an underground tunnel. It's like lovely luxury places to live.
Okay.
And she says it to Tucker, and Tucker's like, I haven't heard this. And they spend a lot of time distinguishing between, like, is this different from the places where officials can go if there's something that's going to happen? Like, those exist.
Yeah, those like
underneath
bunkers.
the VP's house, right? Like,
right.
There's, and she says yes. Now, she has no evidence on this.
Oh, okay.
But she claims that she took a person and she and him collected evidence between 2021 and 2023 on where was this money, this $21 trillion going that couldn't be accounted for.
Okay.
I think the government misspends a lot. I do not think this is like, where did the 21 trillion go? I think there's probably 500 trillion that they spend that they have no idea where it went.
But, like, what is her evidence that that's what it was spent on?
She claims that there was a 2017 study by an economist named Mark Skidmore, and he flagged the major unauthorized spending. So then she went and investigated when she was out of office with this guy. And there's no citing of, like, oh, they're spending it for underground bases. But
right.
She basically thinks, like, you can't, that's too big of an amount of money. You can't, there's nothing else that would go towards.
What on earth could we have spent it on but underground housing?
What's interesting is, like, I think Tucker Carlson may be part of a group that would know about that. So when he's like interviewing her,
Tucker's like, what are you talking
yes,
about?
Jessica, that was his vibe on the podcast. Is he's kind of like, interesting. No, a lot of times Tucker's like, oh, tell me more. Like, it's the Joe Rogan
he
of politics.
He almost was like, stop talking.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I'm going to let this one go.
He's like, shut up. That's where my condo is.
Right. So conspiracy inside a conspiracy.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, the underground bases are, like, underground. They're in the ocean. They're like...
Oh, in the ocean. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want that one, thank you. We all saw what happened to that submarine.
Yeah, right. Someone opens a window on accident.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me let in some fresh air. Wait.
Yeah. Okay, so the next conspiracy theory, you've heard about the Pope.
Yes. Yes, I have.
I forget. I don't know his name.
The new one?
Who's the one that died?
Oh, Francis?
Francis died. And then there's a new one that just got elected. He's American.
He's going by Leo, I think.
And he's from Chicago.
Yes, from Chicago.
Crazy. All right, so there's the prophecy of the Pope going around. Have you heard this? Mm-mm. So there is a prophecy that says that in the Vatican's archives, their library, there's a list of all of the popes listed out from 1143 to Pope Francis.
Okay.
And the legend goes that there was a saint, an Irish saint, named Mllachy, Malachi. Jessica, you're Irish. I would expect you to know this.
I didn't know how many letters you were about to list off, so I stopped paying attention.
Malachi, I don't know.
Okay.
But he basically lists off all the popes from 1143 to Pope Francis, and after Pope Francis, it says Judgment Day.
Oh God.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Second point of evidence: St. Peter's Basilica has all of the portraits of the popes. It's built in a round wall, and there's a space for all the popes' portraits. After Pope Francis,
We've
there's
run
one
out
more
of
slot.
Okay, great. So we're all gonna die.
And then the other thing is that Pope John the 23rd said at the end of days would be 2,000 years plus Christ's lifetime, which I didn't know this, but I guess Christ was only 27.
Okay.
Jesus was only 27 when he died. So what year is that, Jessica? 2,000 plus 27.
Oh God, I can do that math. All right, we got 2 more years.
So then I was like, no, this can't be. So I double clicked on it, and a couple of things. So one is the saint who put this prophecy all together. He didn't actually write the names and the years. He didn't write like Pope John.
Oh, okay.
He wrote a horoscope description of the Pope. And it's been hit or miss. It's not been perfect.
Yeah.
But he'll say something it's the Sun Pope, and it's Pope John Paul was born under a solar eclipse. So it's a little light.
Okay, we can always bend it to make it fit the narrative.
Also, the prophecy was entered into the Vatican archives almost 200 years after the saint was alive.
Oh, okay.
Which they joke if you were naming off the popes, you would of course be right.
Yeah.
200 years.
Right.
recapping the popes that
had already happened.
Yeah, you would of course be right. But if you believe in this stuff and you're Catholic,
I have not heard of this prophecy.
I would get yourself in order by 2027, Jessica.
Well, I need one of these underground bunkers. So, did you put these two together? They're very related.
So we need to get our name on the list.
Yes.
Whatever link's going around for the bunkers, we want that link. I don't know.
Ooh,
I think
I don't like thinking about that one. But remember, what was that a few years? What is time? It could already be 15 years ago. There was that big thing about the Mayan calendar ended at this date, and everyone thought the world was ending.
Could there just be
Not
that
everyone,
the person got tired, right? He's I did 3,000 years worth of popes. I'm gonna end it.
Also, at some point, we're gonna run out of space for pope portraits. The building isn't infinite.
I know.
We
Could we just scooch all of them over an inch and maybe open up one more slot?
Yeah. Well, let's just hope this guy
lives.
He's only 69.
Right. 20 more years, Jessica will be.
We could at
60s.
least get 30 more years out of him if he lived to 99.
We'll put him on life support when he feels like going. Keep him alive for a little longer. Anyway, let's hope neither of those conspiracies come true.
Yep.
Jessica, great talking to you.
You too, Lauren.
Have a good day.
Bye.